All right, 3 tactics to help you triage your deadlift, to help you fix your deadlift in a hurry, plus 1 bonus tip at the end. Now, these are not the only 3 or really 4 things, of course, to look for, but they are some big ticket items because remember, if you're training without a coach, then by default, you are your own coach. So you need to watch yourself. So when you're watching video of yourself, these are 3, 4 really big items to look for. Our first 3 tactics are positioning based, and our last one, our bonus one, is a movement issue. Number 1, you're looking for 3 things in your setup. Specifically, you're looking for A, the bar over the middle of your foot. In other words, when you walk up to the bar with your shins vertical, you want that bar about 1 inch away from your shins. Part B to this one is when you bend your knees, you want to bend your knees enough that your shins are in contact with the bar. This should be true in the setup for every rep. We're just really focusing on the first rep right now. And then part C to this is you want the balance, you want your balance over your midfoot as well. Now that's what you're going to feel, but on video, what you're specifically going to be looking for is the shoulders slightly in front of the bar. So to recap, what you will always feel and be able to do and see while you're lifting is you want the bar over the middle of your foot, you want your shins touching the bar, and you want your balance over the middle of your foot. But what you're going to see on video, those first 2 are still the same, so bar over the middle of the foot, shins touching the bar, but that third part, balance, is a little bit tougher to see. With practice, you will be able to see it, but what you're going to look for is shoulders slightly in front of the bar. Tactic number 2 is your back locked in flat, rigid extension. So 2 parts to this really. You've got to get the back flat and rigid to begin with, and you need to keep it flat and rigid throughout the movement as much as you possibly can. Keep that back like a rigid steel beam. So cue yourself to squeeze your chest up, push your belly down between your thighs, and brace hard and keep it tight, keep it flat throughout the movement. Number 3, lockout. The rep has to count. This is sometimes a forgotten thing on the deadlift, but at the top of the movement, your knees need to be straight, your hips need to be open. In other words, your hips need to be straight as well. The chest needs to be up, and your shoulders will be slightly behind the bar. The rep does not count if you've got soft knees at the top of the movement, or if your hips are not completely open, or if you're hunched over at the top. Finish the rep, get a good lockout, make it count. All right, and lastly, our bonus tip. Remember, this one is movement-based. The first 3 were positioning-based. This is movement-based. The lift needs to start with knee extension. In other words, your knees will straighten throughout the movement. Your hips will also straighten throughout the movement, but you need to think of it as starting primarily with the knees. So push the floor away. You should start to see the knees straightening right away. They don't lock out right away, but it needs to be a gradual straightening of the knees. So push the floor away, a gradual straightening of the knees throughout the entire movement. If you are raising your chest too soon and therefore not pushing the floor away with your legs, therefore not getting that nice knee extension, if you're raising your chest too soon, you're going to end up pulling around your knees. You're going to cause that bar to go in a curved bar path because your knees will be an obstacle that will make the lift much harder. It'll be real hard to keep your back flat, and you're going to have a much bigger chance of simply not getting the lift, and it's also just flat out uncomfortable on the back when you do that. So push the floor away. As always, we hope this helps you get stronger and live better.